These adoptions by Americans have seen a near 80% decrease in the past 9 years alone. In 2017, there was a 12% drop. Is our own State Department making it tougher? Daniel Nehrbass of Nightlight Christian Adoptions and Larry Provost, a columnist with townhall.com, have been digging into this, and they both join us live tonight. Great to have you, gentlemen.
Good to be here, Shannon.
Now, Daniel,
thanks for having us.
It's a long, complicated story, but things have changed. People who are overseeing adoptions with respect to the State Department, higher fees, different requirements. They were poised to pass some regulations under the Obama administration. Those got stopped by the Trump administration. But Daniel, what I'm hearing now is that they are actually carrying out what would have happened with the regulations. They're doing it in practice, if not in policy.
That's right. In true form for the deep state, when the regulations were put on hold because of Trump's mandate to not pass any new regulation, the State Department's Office of Children's Issues found a different way to go about it, which was to establish these regulations either through the new fees that they're implementing with a new accrediting entity that they've helped set up, or by going directly to foreign countries and establishing with those central authorities in other countries the policy that they want to see implemented.
Yeah, and Larry, I know that you have pointed to one particular individual who was appointed in the Obama era, and some particular ideas that she may hold about the issue of Americans adopting internationally. Tell us what you found.
Absolutely, Shannon. The official's name is Trish Maskew, and she was hired in 2014 as the adoption chief in the State Department's Office of Children's Issues, also known as OCI. Prior to her State Department tenure, Maskew had testified before Congress that adoption was one of the most unregulated industries in the United States. But there are also articles that she has written. For example, in 2009, Maskew wrote, she took a backhanded slap at an international adoption advocate and wrote, quote, "Leaving aside the racist and colonialist notions that some see in positions like hers," she's referring to the international adoption advocate, and then she moved on from there. Maskew then provided footnoted excerpts from a feminist writer who had said that international adoptions by Americans is an altruistic cover for Western parents over, quote, subordinate third world nations.
So the suggestion that it's almost a paternalistic or colonialist idea for U.S. parents to want to help, especially special needs children in other countries. Daniel, I know there have been outreaches through Congress. There have been calls for the State Department to make some changes. Do you see any progress?
Not enough progress. This is an issue that affects tens of thousands of American families at this very moment, and yet there's a very small number of professional agencies that are involved in this work, only about 160 agencies. More than half of those agencies have written a letter, signed a letter to the State Department stating that there needs to be a change in policy and there needs to be a change in leadership. We've given this to the former Secretary of State, unfortunately, who was just removed, so hopefully with a new Secretary of State we'll see some more movement on this. Several senators have joined the work here, but really this is something that can only be solved by the president at the top.
Well, we'll see what he knows about the story. The State Department says this in getting inquiries about what's going on over there. The department will continue its efforts to ensure that the best interests of children and families, both birth and adoptive, are paramount and that they are protected. You all are raising some interesting concerns. You've both written on the topic. We will send out some links and let people read the facts for themselves and decide where they think this goes. And we'll stay on the story. So Daniel and Larry, keep us informed. And thank you very much for your time.